Going over using the cosine rule to find unknown angles in non-right angle triangles. So things to consider before you start labeling a triangle. Angles must be A, B, C or capitalized. Sides must be A, B, C lowercase. Now, it doesn't matter where your A, B, C is to much extent, as long as the capital A is opposite the lowercase a. Capital B opposite lowercase b, capital C opposite lowercase c, and so on. Now, there are two different versions of the rules here. So first one is to find sides, which is the more commonly known one. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. And the other one, which we'll use today, is to find angles, which is cos a equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. And you really can use either of them when working with this. And you need to memorize the rules. So what we'll do, we'll start off here with an example and run through it. So first thing when working with these is to label your triangle. So always good, your unknown angle, best thing to do is label it A. Then B and C don't matter too much. And then your lowercase is obviously opposite. Okay, now decide which rule you're using. Second thing you're going to do. Now with this one, because we're finding angles, we'll start with cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. So that's the rule. Now from here you can start substituting in your values that you know. So I know now cos A, well, because I don't know what A is, equals b squared, which is 8 squared, plus 6 squared minus 7 squared all over 2 times 8 times 6. That's my BC. So I'll put that into a calculator. So I've got 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 7 squared. Oh, I'm going to start again there. Maybe start with some brackets around it, it does help. Plus 7 squared, plus 6 squared minus 7 squared. All over 2 times 8 times 6. Put that in the calculator and you get an answer. So I've got here 0.53125. Now that is obviously not the angle. Because we're working like this, we've got to do A equals cos minus 1. We need to do the inverse. So inverse 0.53125. So you put that in there. So what you're working with is shift cos, and then you can press the answer key because your calculator remembers your last answer. And then press equals, and you should get an answer of 57.9 degrees. Okay, so that was using it there. Now I've got a second example here. What I'll try to do is use the top rule and show you how you can rearrange that to work with it. So I'll start off by labeling. I'll do that part first. So A, B, C. So that means lowercase, lowercase, lowercase. So our rule was A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So I'm going to go over the rearranging to make cos A the subject, so you understand how you don't need to memorize this cos A equals 1. You can rearrange it. So what you do here, you start off by adding 2bc cos A to each side and subtracting a squared from each side. So what that'll mean, it'll become 2bc cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared. And then once you've done that, to get cos A on its own, you divide by just this 2bc. So that will become cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. All right, so once you've done that, you can then substitute in the values that you know. So I don't know cos A, so I'll just put cos A. And then I know I know B is 10, so 10 squared. C squared is 12 squared. A squared minus 13 squared, all over 2 times 10 times 12. So that makes cos A equal, so I'm just going to put that in the calculator and start off by doing the fraction sign first. Two times 10 times 12. So it's there. Press equals. And you get an answer, so that's 0.3125. But you don't want that, so you want to do the inverse cos. So A equals cos minus 1, 0.3125. So you do that, shift cos answer, press equals, and you get 71.8, I'll say, degrees for that. Okay, I've got one more here, so press pause, give it a go, and then I'll go over how to do that one. All right, starts off, label your triangle, A, B, C, lowercase, lowercase, lowercase. Write down the formula you're using, so it's cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. So they're going to substitute in what you know, so cos A is our unknown. So b squared is going to be 12 squared plus c squared, which is 10 squared, minus 7 squared for a squared, all over 2 times 12 times 10. Put that in the calculator there. So starting with that fraction sign, so 12 squared plus 10 squared minus 7 squared, 2 times 12 times 10. Get it there, you get your answer, 0.8125. But we don't want that, we want the inverse of cos, so A is cos minus 1, 8125. I put the brackets in because that's what the calculator puts up as well, so you know, 812, oh, I forgot to do inverse cos, 0.8125. Press equals, and you get your answer there of 35.7 degrees.